Hi guys, welcome to In the Black. In this video I'm going to detail our financial peaks and pits of the month of June. My budget overview for June is already up on YouTube, so do give that a watch too, but this one will break things down for you a bit more, showing you things that you might not see on a budget really. And in the background video I am packing for my upcoming holiday. So no doubt you'll see me overpacking as per usual and then having to take things out and rearrange everything. But this year I decided to buy a large shampoo, conditioner and shower gel at the supermarket when we arrived there, as those three items alone are about 2.5 kg in total, and we have to be under 20 kg with our suitcases. But I'm still going to bring our sun cream from home because there's specific ones I like, the ones that can last up to 3 hours in the water or up to 8 hours if not in the water. Right, so let's get into this video. I'll start with a peak. The first one being that the ECB increased their interest rates. For savings accounts, this is a good thing. It means that banks should start offering higher rates for the savings accounts. So far, I've only seen that Revolut have gone ahead and actually increased their rates. And because they calculate and pay interest daily, the positive effect from this is immediate. So we had the highest month ever so far for interest on our Revolut account. And I should also caveat this by saying for mortgages and other loans, the higher interest rates is not a very positive thing. This positive effect really is only for savings accounts. Moving on to a pit. And oh man, it was a difficult month overall. We basically front loaded the month within less than a week. We were spending like we were in government. I got that one from Dave Ramsey. I know how he loves saying spending like you're in Congress. But it was true for us this month. We maxed out or close to maxed out a lot of line items really early in the month, and it left us grappling for the bulk of the month. We had to be really, really careful. It's definitely not how I like our spending to be. I prefer to pace it out much more evenly throughout the month, but it was just one of those months. I'm glad to see the back of it and start a new budgeting period, to be honest. From here, I'll talk about a peak. We had a fixed deposit account mature this month and pay out interest, which was a nice addition to our income for the month. It still didn't help us much with our spending habits, though, unfortunately. Back down to a pit. We received notification from our energy supplier that they are increasing their prices. In fact, quite a few energy providers I think have now made similar announcements. So starting from the 1st of July, electricity prices will increase by 9.5% and gas prices will increase by 11%. According to calculations I've seen online, this will add approximately €168 to the average household's annual electricity bill and €156 for gas bills, which is a total of €324 overall for the year. That is a lot of money, really. It breaks down to an increase of €27 per month. I will be shopping around when our contract is due to come to an end, but it seems that there are a lot of energy providers that are increasing their prices at the moment, so we may not have too many options, to choose from, but I'll obviously shop around and try and go for the cheapest one at the time. Back up to a peak. Monzo has now launched in Ireland and I opened an account. I've mentioned several times in my videos my love for Revolut. Well, Monzo is reasonably similar. They are not a traditional bank, they are an online bank. Their interest rates are not quite as good as Revolut at this point, but that could change. They opened in the Irish market with a 1.6% savings interest rate, which was quickly increased to 1.8% when the ECB announced their rate increases. So I think that kind of happened all within a couple of days of each other. I haven't added any money to the account yet, but I'm sure I will soon. I have to say though, I do feel quite loyal to Revolut, and right now their offering is better, so I don't know yet how much I will use Monzo, but it is good to have options away from the traditional banking system that we have here in Ireland. The next pit I'm going to talk about is a really bad one in my book, and it is something that could have been avoided. We had a plumber do some work on our shower a few months ago, and while he was here, he was showing us a few things in relation to the water tank and the hot press and whatnot. And between the jigs and the reels, we realised just a few weeks ago that the immersion switch had been left on for a long period of time. We think around 2 months. It was left on sink, not on bath, but we hadn't noticed it at all because the switch is in the hot press and it's usually blocked by a pile of towels. This ended up being, it ended up costing us money and was completely avoidable. And it bothers me so much because we are generally quite on the ball about these things. And I was really raging when this one came to light. I have to say, I do quite pride myself on the fact that we managed to keep our energy bills as low as possible. We make huge efforts to not charge things during peak times and whatnot. So when this came to light, I was raging. I have to finish on another pit because unfortunately there were more pits than peaks this month. The last one is that when looking at our bare bones budget, I went through it and made changes as needed. And I do this every 2 to 3 months. And this time it led to a difference of €300 that was needed in order to reach the full amount that we want in our emergency fund, which then had a knock on effect and meant we had to increase the amount that we were saving for the emergency fund each month until we reach this new updated goal amount. So this has had an impact on our budget too, because it means we have to put more towards this emergency fund, which means that there's less available for our variable spending. See, it was kind of a mixed bag for us this month, but there were unfortunately more lows than highs, and it could have actually ended a lot worse too if we hadn't really knuckled down from week 2 to week 4 of the budgeting period. I'd love to hear your peaks and pits for the month, so please do let me know in the comments. And I'd also love if you could support my small channel, so please like, subscribe, and comment if you can. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye, guys.